Yes. Wonderful. Very good to see you in my office again. Work, okay. Today we are going to continue our therapy session with a different topic. Every time I see it's a bit different. Okay. So today we are going to talk about work. It's very important because this aspect in our life is going to come up in one way or another. Okay. So I will say that there are parental expectations. For example, modern parents will always say that they don't care what their children do, so long as they are happy. This is rarely exactly true. In a small way and in large ways, parents shape our professional experiences. It starts with what parents understand of the working world. Yes. So I will ask you some questions, okay? Yes. You know, Dr. Lucia is very comfortable asking you these questions because you are open and honest and comfortable with me. Our relationship is like very good, so we work very well together. No pun intended. Okay, so what sorts of jobs did your parents understand and respect? Would you say? Okay. Okay. What jobs would you say were frightening or alien to your parents? Maybe something. Yes. Okay. And for you, in what ways do you think you have honored your parents' wishes? Or career or not, it's up to you. Okay, yes. I see. Okay. And in what ways do you think you have rebelled against your parents' wishes? Rebelled, yes. Okay. Yes. Of course, that is very interpretational. Of course, yes. If it wasn't for parental expectations, what do you think you might do or have done? Really? Okay. To move on from the parents, let's talk about like a fantasy job, because there are many good reasons why some jobs are impractical or this kind of thing exaggerated, but that doesn't stop them from being a very important part of a fantasy life. It's important to imagine this kind of situation for the future. given who you are as a person, what should you ideally be doing, would you say? If in the fantasy, it does not have to be practical. Yes. Okay. Why do you say that? Because? Okay. Perfect, okay. Let's say you can name 3 jobs which would be well suited but that are practically beyond you, given life as your circumstance. But if you could imagine in a fantasy 3 jobs, give me 3 examples if you can, please. Yes, of course, that counts, yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. I like this answer. Very nice. It's very good to use the imagination when it comes to this kind of thing. Let's talk about your childhood with this. What we like to do and play as children gives us vital clues as to our true working selves. It's when we had no thought of money or status that our real interests had a chance to come to the forefront. Clues as to our true working identity may surprisingly lie back at a time when we were not thinking about work. Okay, yes. So, for example, if you can tell me what as a child you enjoyed to play the most, or maybe some activities or these kind of things, what did you love to play? Yes, that counts, of course. Mm-hmm. Yes. Anything in that kind of realm? More creative, you say? Active, okay. If you took your childhood interests seriously and translated them into their adult idioms, what might you be doing? For example, if someone said, I love to play sports, soccer, you could ideally be a soccer star, or more practical, you could be like a teacher who teaches like a physical activity. So you can say something that this childhood trait would translate into. Perfetto, perfetto. Or yes, or that. Very, very good. Yes, very interesting. When dealing with ambition, any working life that involves a balance between worldly and authentic concerns is like a balancing act between what the world requires and what we like. It's like in life to find balance is very important. So, rank in order of importance for you in your career. I'm going to give you these options. You rank in order of importance: money, status, creativity, social impact, and colleagues. Rate them from the most important to the least. Money, status, creativity, social impact, colleagues. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. Even if you don't. Yes, precisely. Okay. Even if not implying. Okay, what do you hope for in this arena of work with involving money, status, creativity, social impact, and colleagues. What is your biggest hope for this? You can say one by one all together, it's up to you. Good. I see, okay. It's very important to find the meaning in this aspect of the career. For example, we work for money and status, of course, but we also work for something a little more mysterious, meaning. What makes a job meaningful is usually the degree to which we can see how what we're doing contributes to increasing the pleasures of others or reducing their suffering. Meaning, yes. Often what we do actually does make a contribution. It's just that the chain of connections is quite long and complicated, so sometimes it's not always easy to see. In hindsight, of course, so a job might feel less meaningful than it really is. It's important to know that. So, if I could ask you, based on this, in what ways is your job meaningful, would you say? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. If you could insert more of a sense of meaning into your work life, how would you do this? Take your time, yes. Mm-hmm. Ok, perfetto, perfetto. Now, another aspect of work life could be envy. For example, nice people aren't supposed to feel envy or envious of someone that they're close to. It feels rather embarrassing and immature to feel this kind of energy. Your envy is a very natural response to the fact that others have good things or good qualities that we don't yet possess. The ideal isn't simply to suffer envy, but to learn from envy. Envy provides a clue to who we really want to be. Through the meaning of the clue might not be immediately obvious when you do some reflection. Maybe you can even learn from this kind of feeling that maybe feels negative or this kind. Yes. Yes. Now you can imagine where the question will go, but if you could name a people or even the type of person that you envy and explain why is this person or these people envious to your life? Maybe they possess something you don't, or... Okay. This is your... Okay. Why would you say that? Ah, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. Okay, this one as well. You... Ah, okay, this type of person, okay. Because, yes. With these envious feelings in mind, how could you try to reform your life to change this kind of feeling? We said the feelings of change, it's like an evolution. So when we think of changing our lives, we picture sometimes something very dramatic. We imagine like we leave a job, we return to education, we change income, these kind of things. It's no wonder conceived in these terms we often don't change anything. Because change can seem daunting, scary, this kind of thing. But there could be another way to change our lives through a process of small branching moves that don't upset the essential tenor of our life. So, what small steps might you take in the coming days to change the direction of your career or the direction in which your career could blossom, would you say? Very little, yes, nothing crazy, no. Of course, this term is used very casual, but we don't, yes. Okay, yes. Ah, I see, yes. And there is a fear too. Okay. Okay, let's talk about this failure. If you could not fail, given that the hold that fear of failure has on your imagination, it can help to ask a very essential question about fear. If you could not fail, what would you do? If you could not fail, what would you do? Yes. Anything, anything. Okay, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful, very beautiful. I love this. So, if there is a job like that you imagine, what are the qualities that you like in this job? The freedom, okay. Okay. Of course. This kind of thing is called imposter syndrome. It's very common. So usually, sometimes we feel like we don't deserve or belong in this kind of thing. In what ways do you feel like an imposter? Yes. Of course. Of course. Okay. There is always the sense of humiliation, self-sabotage, this kind of thing. in talking about this self-sabotage, the ways in which we make ourselves and stop ourselves from this success, in what ways do you think you have self-sabotaged your own life at a different point? It does not have to be work, it could be a relationship, school, this kind of thing. Of course, it's very normal. Yes, of course, of course. What is normal anyway, you know? Of course. Imagine yourself as a colleague, okay? All of us, in some ways, have difficult colleagues in our life, but picture yourself. In what ways are you a difficult colleague, would you say, if you had to work with someone just like yourself? Where would you have the areas of the struggle? Difficult, yes. Ah, okay. It's an important word. We will talk about that, yes. Okay, it's natural. When you talk about procrastinating, what are you holding off from doing in this sense? Like procrastination can look like laziness, but in fact it is not. It is most often a type of fear, really. Yes, so what are you holding off from doing? What is the reason for this? Okay. And this stops you from continuing, of course. It's natural, it's very natural. Okay, there is many things we can discuss, like feeling like a failure, all of these kind of things for success. It's important. We are going to touch upon this in the next session. We're going to finish up a little bit of this kind of sense of that, but for you, the most important issue I want you to talk about is the sense of procrastination and where it comes from, and if you've always been this way. I will make a note to talk about this and the sense of failure in the next session. I'm going to make a little note, but of course the 20 minutes is up. You know, for the last little bit of the session, I like to leave you alone for 5 minutes with your thoughts when I excuse myself from the room, because after therapy it is very important to reflect with our thoughts before we enter the world. And this space with you is a very safe space. I want you to feel comfortable and very happy, you know, this reflective nature. When thinking about who you are, I want you to reflect on that. So we will finish off with the topic and work a little bit next in dealing with the next subject, because we always talk about something new and enlightening in your future. Yes, but I for now want to leave you some quiet moments with your thoughts to reflect on everything I spoke about with you and everything you spoke about with me, Lucia. Yes. Okay, I will be the one to depart, but I want to wish you a very continued happy day ahead, and I will see you in the next session of therapy, okay? Ciao, 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 ciao. Ciao.